Let's join a class on day 2 of a summer Star Talk program. The students are all beginning students of Chinese, and the expectation for using the target language has already been clearly established.
羊肉，羊肉。
Since communication in the target language is the goal, the physical structure of the classroom matters. Learners in communicative classrooms are often seated in concentric circles, in small collaborative groups, or in rows facing each other. Today's lesson begins with a review of the zodiac animals. Learners are encouraged with words and gestures to use the iPad to scan a QR code, and are then answering questions about their zodiac sign. It is clear that students are fully immersed in Chinese on day 2. The teacher is using storytelling as the context for today's lesson. Stories allow for a natural repetition of new vocabulary and establish a context for learning the language. Videos that are in English can be shown with the sound off, allowing teachers to tell the story in a more simplified format using gestures and props. The video provides an overview of the Spring Festival. Learners are given cards with images and words that tell the story and will use these manipulatives to learn the key elements of the Spring Festival. After watching the video, students are given a set of picture cards and asked to sequence the images. The pictures allow students to work with the new vocabulary in the context of the story. Students are helping each other with the vocabulary as the teacher circulates, checking for comprehension.
放在红纸的上面，拿一张白纸，一张红纸。
The focus on the Spring Festival continues with an activity centered on the red envelope.
然后
The teacher uses both language and gestures as students make a red envelope. Students demonstrate comprehension as they make their own envelopes. The red envelope activity continues as students get different amounts of money for their envelopes. A teaching assistant talks with the learners about the amount of money they have. They do not necessarily understand every word, but they are listening and then able to respond when asked a specific question. The teacher then engages the learners by having them act out the words associated with the Spring Festival. Knowing that stories are compelling, the teacher begins to retell the story of the Spring Festival. Watch as she uses many techniques to make the story comprehensible to the novice learner. What techniques does she use? The story is then retold, and learners demonstrate comprehension by lining up appropriately according to the image, character, or pinyin they have. Students then return to their tables to recreate the story using images. To recreate the story, students put the images in the correct order and match the Chinese characters to the image. Students then scramble the images and repeat the activity. Groups are now competing with other groups to see who can do it the fastest. The teacher transitions to a new portion of a lesson, introduces the goals, and checks for understanding. She then uses visual cues and gestures to introduce the new vocabulary and expects students to use gestures also.
When I was using total physical response, basically, I use that a lot. I combine the vocabulary with the gestures. So, for example, when I did today, when I was teaching 爸爸, father, so I was using mustache, doing this. And then when I do mama, so that was here, the wavy hair. So when I do those kind of gestures, and when I ask the students to do it with me, it's actually helping them to really remember that. Because I remember, if I didn't remember it wrong, actually learning by doing it increases their rate of retention. It's probably 90%.
Once learners are comfortable with the new language patterns, they interview each other about their likes and dislikes using names of celebrities.
Kung Fu Panda ma?
你喜欢 Michael Jackson 吗？
我喜欢 Michael Jackson.
Students also have the chance to use family vocabulary using the same question and answer frames. The next lesson introduces some of the foods associated with the Spring Festival and begins with the introduction of the learning targets for the lesson. Students have engaged in a variety of activities and are now blindfolded to see if they can identify the food that they are holding. The activity continues as some students elect to taste the foods while blindfolded. The teacher did address safety concerns by using English on the PowerPoint to ask whether students were allergic to any foods, and also asked whether they were vegetarian. After identifying and sampling some of the foods commonly used in dumplings, students watch a video showing how dumplings are made. They then work with the app Pic Collage to create a dumpling recipe, matching images and characters before presenting their recipe to the class.
看这里，
这是盐和椒，这是味康，
哪里？这是哪一个？这个。
韭菜，
这是韭菜。
这是酱油。
酱油很好。
这是鸡蛋。
鸡蛋很好。
这是鸡肉， 这是猪，这是姜
虾。
虾，
这是白菜。
这是
Dumplings。
怎么说？饺子，大家跟我读饺子。
饺子。
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 OK， 非常好，谢谢。我有钱。
It requires commitment from both teachers and learners to create the immersion classroom. Listen as Lu Kong talks about her experiences with StarTalk and offers some advice to other teachers.
I think StarTalk has been a really good experience for me. I think I started StarTalk about 4 years ago. I think this kind of enforcement of, trying to use target language 90% or more is actually also helping me to become a good teacher. It also helps me to constantly reflect on, what I can use or what I can do with my students. And with what I have been achieved in StarTalk student programs, it also builds on my confidence. It also, let me know that I can actually do this and the students actually love it. So I would really encourage, other teachers to try to use more target language. And they are going to be amazed by the students' achievement.
In the words of another teacher, the amount of target language that I can use depends on how well prepared I am for that day's lessons. Based on what you have seen and heard in this video, what will you do to be well prepared to use the target language at least 90% of the time?